Okay, so quick intro to setting here. Setting, I think, is one of the maybe more challenging moves for a new player, but I think it becomes really, really simple as we get more and more reps with it. If you've ever watched professional beach volleyball, there's a men's player named Phil Dahlhauser who's like a 7-foot bald guy who's incredible, won several gold medals, one of the best players in the world. When he started out playing professionally, he was a terrible setter. Still an amazing hitter, great blocker because of how big he was, but everyone knew that about him setting, so they would always serve at his partner, which would force him to then be the setter for his team, and they just didn't do well. So I think his first Olympics, they got knocked out really early. I read that he came home from that totally devastated and just decided, hey, I got to fix this, I'm going to do it. He then went on to just set 1,000 balls to himself every single night, and really since that first appearance, he's won I think 3-4 gold medals, and he's recognized as one of the best players in the world, if not the, and definitely one of the best setters. So really, it's one of those things that as we work on it, we can get there, we can get better, we've just got to put the time in. So I'm going to start out by actually just grabbing a volleyball. So in our passing video, we talked about a good athletic posture. For setting, we're a little bit more upright than we were for passing, but I've got my knees bent. I like to have my right foot out in front of my left. I'm athletic, I'm bouncy, I'm ready to move around, right? So I've got this ball in my hands. I'm using one of these spiral balls. This is a men's indoor volleyball. For our high school season, we're going to be using, it's a Molten Super Touch ball. It's one of the ones that has those like 3 panels on it that have, those 3 stripes that come across like that. I want you to pick out one of those. I want you to put your thumbs on the bottom part of that panel, on the corners, and your index fingers right at the top of that rectangle. So I've got a good, just rectangle. My thumbs, my index fingers, they're evenly spaced. Once I'm there, I'm going to wrap the rest of my fingers around the ball. And if you see how I'm gripping the ball here, you see how there's a little bit of space between, my palms and the ball. So I want that to maintain. I want to be contacting the ball with the pads of my fingertips. I don't want to be on my fingertips, fingernails. I don't want the ball on my palms. I want to be setting the ball, contacting the ball with the pads of my fingertips, just like that. We really like that little bit of space here. So I've got that rectangle shaped. I've got the ball down at my waist. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop the ball, but I want to maintain the shape of my fingers as I do it. And I'm going to hold that shape at my waist, right? So I'm going to pull my hands just apart, let go of the ball, and my fingers stay the same. So we refer to this position as ball-shaped hands. We like to make this at our waist just so when we come up high, we're ready to set the ball right from there. When I get here, again, I don't want to have flat hands, flat palms. I want to keep those rounded hands, rounded fingertips. I've got my ball-shaped hands down at my waist. When I get ready to set the ball, ball-shaped hands, I've got my right foot in front of my left. I'm going to come up high and push. When I come up high, it's really easy to get into having my elbows come out like that. If they come out, what happened to my hands as I did that? Well, they're not ball-shaped anymore, right? So we don't like that. I want to think about, I'm inside of a chimney for some reason. I'm stuck in there, and I need to keep myself really narrow as I get my hands up. So I'm going to keep my elbows in and keep those ball-shaped hands up in front of my forehead. So I'm ball-shaped hands, up the chimney. Ball-shaped hands, up the chimney. Just work on that a couple times, get a feel for that, keeping those elbows in, keeping those ball-shaped hands out in front of my forehead. Once I get up high, I want to think about, I'm a unicorn, and there's a marshmallow stuck on my horn for some reason. My goal is to pop that marshmallow off of my horn. So ball-shaped hands, I come up the chimney, and I pop the marshmallow. As I pop the marshmallow, I want my hands to stay in, and when I finish, I'm finishing with my palms to the target, and really the action of setting the ball is really in my wrist. So I really recently just heard this, and I love it so much. I want to think about when I set the ball, I want to push both my thumbs and my index fingers. So again, they're in that rectangle on the ball. I want to push them through the ball, and I really want to focus on those 4, and it's this little hinge motion with my wrists that sends the ball. So I'm popping that marshmallow and finishing palms to target with my thumbs and my index fingers coming through the ball. So from the side, they started out back here, right? and I'm just using that hinge motion of my wrists to go through the ball. So I'm ball-shaped hands through the ball. And that's how I push it. So I'm going to be up overhead as I do this. I pop the marshmallow and come through, right? So when we get into actually setting, we're just going to start out standing still, and I'm just going to come right up over my head to start. So we know that about, coming up the chimney, popping the marshmallow off to start out. We're just focused on popping the marshmallow off. So we're going to stay up high, and we're going to finish thumbs and index fingers through the ball. Again, we're just trying to contact the ball with our fingertips here. We want to maintain that space. We don't want our palms on the ball. And we want all of our fingers touching the ball at the same time when it comes in and releasing at the same time when it comes out. So it's just going to look like this. I'm setting, all to myself. And I'm staying up over top of my forehead, and I'm pushing that marshmallow off my horn. And as I get a good feel for that, then I'm going to start setting the ball a little bit higher, and I'm going to, check in with myself. Am I still in that athletic position in my lower body? And if I am, and I feel good about that, then we're going to start really focusing on our feet as we set. So we really like for our setters to always finish with their final 2 steps being a left-right set, left-right set. I'm going to back up here so you can see that we always want, when we finish, our right foot to be out in front of our left. So it's going to be a left-right set. And it's not crazy. We don't want to look like this. We want to be pretty close, but it's a left-right set. So I'm going to be setting the ball a little bit higher here, and I'm going to think about my lower body as I do this, but I'm still popping that marshmallow off my horn, finishing with my thumbs and my index fingers through the ball. So here we go. Left, right, and we keep going over and over and over. Again, we just work on this a lot. At first, it's going to feel weird if we haven't set a lot of balls, but this is something that really, with time, you can get really, really good at on your own. Please spend a lot of time on it. It'll improve your game so much.